evening everyone. You is watching Say No on Mac TV. I'm Thanusha Ganesan. Before we begin this week's topic on Mac TV, appeals to our viewers to stay safe from the COVID-19 pandemic. Continue to take precautions such as wear masks, washing hands and also maintain physical distancing each time you step outside. Remember, even though the vaccination drive has begun, this simple precaution will help us defeat the pandemic. Every week, we are talking about a current issue and now, let's get to the topic of the day. Let's begin with the countdown. This week we are going to talk about suicide. There are three special guests who is going to join and talk on suicide. The three special guests are Miss Jia, Miss Malini and Mr. Aiman. And now we are going to see what is suicide. Suicide is continuously talked about the subject in our society. There are multiple papers, books, journals and other documents that discuss the topic. This topic discusses the personal experience of a person who was suicidal or had to face the horror of losing a near and dear person to suicide. Suicide is the cause of death for a wide range of illness like depression, anxiety, among others. It is difficult always to comprehend the reasons why a person commits suicide. It is because self-preservation is the strongest instinct of all living beings. We are obliged to know why others consider ending their life. Suicide is a critical factor in our society during the ongoing pandemic. People are locked tight in their homes with something no one to share their woes. People who suffer from depression or have genetic vulnerability have more tendency to act on suicidal thoughts. So, hi Miss Jia, good evening. What is the reason people commit suicide?
Good evening. My name is Miss Jia. People commit suicide because first, mental illness. Most people must make the decision to enter suicidal shortly before doing some impulsively rather than planning it out extensively. Where there are many factors that can influence a person's decision to commit suicide. The most common one is severe depression. Depression can make people feel great emotional pain and loss of hope, making them unable to see another way to deliver the pain other than ending their our life. Number two reason is traumatic stress. A person who had a traumatic experience including childhood sexual abuse, physical abuse, or what trauma is at a greater risk of suicide even many years after the trauma. In a survey of nearly 22% of people who have been raped have ended suicidal at same point, while 23% who experience physical abuse try to take their our life at same point. Being diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder (PTSD) of multiple incident or trauma raises the risk even future. This is partly because depression is common after trauma and most with PTSD causing feeling of helplessness and hopelessness that can lead to suicide. Number three reason is substance use and impulsivity. Drugs and alcohol can also influence a person who experiences suicide, making them more impulsive and likely to actually improve their action. They will be well sober. Substance and alcohol use can contribute to other reasons people commit suicide, so as the loss of job and relationship. The rate of substance to use alcohol use disorder are also higher among people with restriction and other psychology disorder put this together and the risk increase. Number 4 reason is role or fear or loss. A person may desire to take their our life when facing a loss of the fear of a loss. This situation can include economic failure, binding shaming or humiliation, including cyberbullying, financial problem, and or close friendship or romantic relationship, job loss of friend or family.
I see. And what do you think about this, Miss Malini? Do you have any other reasons why people commit suicide?
Good evening, I'm Mahni here. Next point is hopelessness. Hopelessness either in the short term or has a longer lasting trait has been found in many studies to contribute to the decision to commit suicide. The person may be facing a social or physical challenge and may they see a way the situation can improve. When people feel they have lost all hope and don't feel able to change that, it can overshadow all of the good things in their life, making suicide seem like viable option. While it may seem obvious to an outside observer that things will get better, people with depression may not be able to see this due to permission and despair that go along with this illness. Next is chronic pain and illness. If a person has chronic pain or illness with no hope or cure or reprieve from suffering, suicide may seem like a way to regain and control of their life. In some states, assisted suicide is legal for this reason. These are the health conditions which can cause higher risk of suicide. First is asthma, back pain, brain injury, cancer, diabetic, HIV or AIDS, heart disease. Last one is high blood pressure. Next, feeling like burden to others. A person with chronic pain or terminal illness can also feel like a burden to others, as it become harder and harder to ask for yet another ride to doctor's office or more help with household duties or assistance paid to hospital bills. In fact, many people who decide to commit suicide often state that their loved one or the world in general will better off without them. This type of rhetorical is common warning signs of suicide. People often see themselves as a burden to others or feel worthless due to the overwhelming emotion burden they are crying within. Last point is social isolation. A person can become socially isolation for many reasons, including losing friends, undergoing a separation or divorce, physical or mental illusion, social anxiety, retirement, or due to a move to a new location. Social isolation can also be caused by internal factors such as low self-esteem. This can lead to loneliness and other risk factors of suicide such as depression and alcohol or drug misuse. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Malini. Yeah, this will be the reason for suicide. So, Mr. Aiman, what is your idea for suicide prevention?
So my name is Muhammad Ahza. So suicide prevention. Tip 1. Speak up if you are worried. If you spot the warning sign of suicide in someone you care about, you may wonder if it's a good idea to say anything. What if you are wrong? What if the person get angry? In such situation, it's natural to feel uncomfortable or afraid. But anyone who talks about suicide or shows other warning signs need immediate help. The sooner, the better. Talking to a friend or family member about their suicidal thoughts and feeling can be extremely difficult for anyone. But if you are unsure whether someone is suicidal, the best way to find out is to ask. You can't make a person suicidal by showing that you care. In fact, giving a suicidal person the opportunity to express their feeling can provide relief from loneliness and pent-up negative feeling and may prevent a suicide attempt. So tip number 2, respond quickly in a crisis. If a friend or family member tells you that they are thinking about death or suicide, it's important to evaluate the immediate danger the person is in. Those are at the highest risk for committing suicide in the near future have a specific suicide plan, the means to carry out the plan, a time set for doing it, and an intention to do it. So tip number 3, offer help and support. If a friend or a family member is suicidal, the best way to help is by offering an empathic listening ear. Let your loved one know that they are not alone and that you care. Don't take responsibility. However, for healing your loved one, you can offer support, but you can't make the suicidal person get better. They have to make a personal commitment to recovery. It takes a lot of courage to help someone who is suicidal. Witnessing a loved one dealing with thoughts about ending their own life can stir up many difficult emotions. As you are helping a suicidal person, don't forget to take care of yourself. Find someone that you can trust, a friend, family member, clergyman, or counselor to talk to about your feeling and get support of your own.
Thank you, Aiman. So, there's a lot of ways you can do after suicide or suicide attempt. So, put yourself first. Now is the time to take care of you. That means exercising regularly, eating right, getting enough sleep, taking any prescribed medicines, and otherwise living a healthy lifestyle. The second one is get a strong support system. You want to be surrounded by supportive people, and you need to have someone there you can reach out to when life gets rough. Your team should include a counselor or mental health professional, friends or family members who are willing to listen, support groups filled with those who have walked the same path, and individuals that you know will be there for you in an event or an emergency. Number 3, do new things. Though it might be tough at first, getting out to do a new thing will introduce you to new hobbies, new people, and new perspectives. Having something new, focus on can help you to put the past behind you. And the last point is identify fear triggers. What leads you to become depressed? What thoughts send you into tailspin? What suggestions are too overwhelming to handle? Pinpoint these issues with the help of your mental health counselor and learn how to avoid them, as well as you know how to use health coping strategies to eventually deal with them. So, Mr. Aiman, what do you think the conclusion will be?
Okay, so the conclusion is suicide in teens. Teenage suicide is a serious growing problem. The teenage years can be emotionally turbulent and stressful. Teenagers face pressure to succeed and fit in. They may struggle with self-esteem, self-doubt, and feeling of alienation. For some, this leads to suicide. Depression is also a major risk factor for teen suicide. Suicide in the elderly. The highest suicide rates of any age group occur among those 65 years older. One contributing factor is depression in the elderly that is undiagnosed and untreated. In conclusion, suicidal thoughts can affect us at any time regardless of our age. It can make us change our action and make us do the wrong choice. Your physical and mental state will slowly get damaged unless you do something to improve it. Coping is the best way to release yourself from suicidal ideation. Don't let yourself be a prisoner to your thought. Release your demons and fly free.
Thank you, Aiman. That's all for today's topic. I hope Mad TV viewers get many ideas and information. Thank you, Miss Jia, Miss Malini, and Mr. Aiman for joining us today. Let's end here. See you all next week again. Signing off by Thanusha Ganesan. Bye bye. Thank you.